He couldn't help but watch her sleep in the chair beside the bed he woke up in. She looked every bit the angel with the light that fell upon her blonde head and caused a ring of reflective light. No other halo could claim to be as beautiful as hers. He tried to sit up, but the holes that riddled his back prevented it. When he got his hands on Mr. Isley, Brian planned to make sure he no longer had the ability to shoot another living creature with those bullets. He still felt the darkness they brought in the depths of his soul. If it hadn't been for Madison, he doubted he'd have held the vicious, all-consuming force at bay. He didn't want to disturb her, but his bladder refused to remain calm with its present full status. Sometimes, he hated the human effects of his body. The hunger pangs, the frequent need to purge itself of waste, and the way it gave out after a mere day or two of activity without sleep.
You're awake.
Madison whispered with a voice thick with sleep. I am sorry to disturb you. I need to use the facilities. Brian said. He didn't know why it was awkward to say that to her.
Could you perhaps ask Uriel to assist me?
Facilities? She asked.
Oh, bathroom, I'll help you.
She offered. Before he had a chance to argue with her, she stood at his side and positioned her arm behind his shoulders. She brought his arm around her small frame. Lean on me and sit up. Try and keep your back as still as possible. We don't want to tear open your wounds. She left him no room for discussion. It took every bit of strength he possessed not to cry out in pain at the simple movement of sitting up. His back rebelled from the slightest use of the ripped muscles beneath his skin. His jaw clamped shut, and he clenched his teeth as sheen of perspiration broke out across his forehead.
Easy does it,
Madison said. After the effort it took to sit, he had no desire to move from the bed. The 10 or so feet to the adjacent bathroom seemed like a mile away. With her help, he turned his body, so his legs slid to the side of the bed. By the time his feet touched the floor, he felt as if he'd completed a marathon of unspeakable feats.
This part is a bit tricky, but we'll get through it. I'm going to lean forward with you until your legs are supporting most of your body. Then we'll stand upright.
She said. He didn't want her to get hurt assisting him, so he did his best to put as much weight on his legs as he could. Though it hurt, the fear of causing her pain or injury outweighed any spasm he felt. After they inched their way to the bathroom, he sent up a prayer of thanks he hadn't been born a woman. The idea of sitting, then standing again moments later, did not sound appealing to him at all. At the end of the excursion, after he'd been tucked back into bed like a coddled child, he wondered if she thought less of him now that he required her assistance. He wanted her to like him, not see him as an invalid unable to see to her protection and safety.
What are you thinking about?
She asked. I've no experience with injury. I don't know how long it will take to heal, or how long it will be before I'm able to do such a simple thing by myself. It is important to me that you know, even in this condition, I will do anything it takes to see to your safety.
What an odd thing to say. Brian, you saved my life. I will spend the rest of my life trying to express how grateful I am for what you've done. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have those injuries.
Her voice cracked and tears welled up in her expressive blue eyes. Oh, God, help him. He'd made her cry. A surge of panic erupted in his chest, and he tried desperately to think of something that would make her stop. Come here, he said. Using strength from God himself, he shifted a few inches, closer to the middle of the bed. The fire from his back couldn't compare to the pain her tears caused him. She looked at him with questions in her eyes but sat on the side of the bed, nonetheless. He tugged on her arm gently until she lay down beside him. He wrapped her up in a fierce hug.
Please don't cry.
Brian had no idea how much time had passed as they lay there on the bed in silence. His arm had long since gone numb with the weight of her head rested on it. He'd never held another person before, not like that. She turned toward him, aligned her body with his and rested her head against his shoulder. She was fast asleep. Her comfort became the balm to his wounds. The scent of her hair tickled at his nose and he smiled. Humans had the right of life, because he couldn't remember a better experience than holding Madison in his arms. Father of the heavens, you have blessed me. I do not know what I did to receive such wonders in my life, but I will forever be grateful. Though I am not worthy to ask of you, I ask that you heal these wounds so I might protect this woman in my arms. Brian prayed. He'd almost forgotten how to talk to his creator. He couldn't remember the last time he wanted to. He smiled at the peace and tranquility he experienced among the chaos that had been brought to his door. God's presence filled the small room and Brian knew that his prayer had been heard. The light within him exploded and washed his broken body in warmth. His heart raced and brought the light-fused blood from head to toe. To say he'd been healed would have been an understatement. He'd been renewed, body and soul. God's touch brought tears to his eyes and humbled him in a way that he'd never experienced before. He knew he'd never be the same again. When thoughts of Madison filled his mind, he knew he'd been brought here to protect her. He'd been given a new ward, a gift from the heavens to guard. He would never allow anyone to harm her. He rested his head against hers and smiled as he drifted off to sleep.